Hello YouTube, Liz here. I have some new yarn acquisitions I thought I'd share with you, and a finished object or two. I went to Hobby Lobby to get yarn to start the Tammy Sweater that Krista at the Secret Yarnery is the CAL that she's doing, and I wanted to make that sweater for a gift, so I can't use the color she suggested using pink. I'm going to try to put a little pink in it, but as an ovarian cancer survivor, I thought it was okay if I use teals. The person I'm making it for wants blues and greens, so I wanted to use Hygge, the Red Heart Hygge yarn, and this is slate blue. It's a little greener than that's showing up on the screen. It's a little more of a, it says slate blue, but it's a little bit more of a blue-green than is showing up. It's real soft, and I thought it would make a really nice sweater. It's a bulky 5, and it calls for a K hook. So I'm not sure, I wasn't sure exactly the yardage while I was there. I thought 3 or 4 skeins would be plenty. It's not. I need 700 yards, 16 to 700 yards, so that's not going to be enough. And I bought the 3 skeins that they had. So I didn't know that at the time, but I've now decided to substitute something else. But anyway, while I was there, I thought I'm going to see if they have any more caked homespun. They had one in the entire store, and this is a bigger Joann than the Joann that we have. This is in the metro area, and they had one. And here it is. I saw it right when I walked in the door. So this is Homespun Flamingo Beach, and it was on clearance for $2.97 with an additional 25% off, and I had another coupon after that. I can't remember exactly how that worked out to be, but not a whole lot, so I thought I was going to try it again. I didn't really, that wasn't the color I was going for, but now that I have it, I like it. Then I saw a yarn that I'd never seen before, Lion Brand Shimmery. This is how they spell it. And it is a bulky 5. It's 99% acrylic, 1% other, and that other is this thread that goes through it, the blingy thread. You can see the shimmer in there. It's 219 yards. And I can't find my receipt, but it was on sale. I think it was $4 or so. I don't really remember, but I thought that was just real pretty. You can't really see it maybe too much, but there's like a real dark thread that runs through here, and I thought I would try to make a divine hat with that, because I found that with the divine hat, the way that the stitch is set up, I can crochet easily with it and not have to see exactly where my stitches are going if I'm using a dark yarn. So that works out. I bought this with that in mind as well. This is Landscapes, Lion Brand Landscapes Volcano. Here's this. And I've used Landscapes multiple times now, and I'm learning that when I go to close a stitch to finish off my stitches, I have to be very careful because it will shred. Like I like to leave a nice long tail so I can weave in as much as I want. I don't short my tails. And when I go to either close the magic circle at the top, or when I go to finish off my last stitch, when I go to finish off my last stitch and pull that, it just keeps pulling and it shreds. And I thought, oh no. And that happened with this yarn as well. This is Ferris wheel, and I was working with Ferris wheel. This is the Divine Hat pattern. It's also called the seashell pattern. That the tutorial by Jonna Martinez called it the seashell pattern, and I finished this the Friday night, last night at football, or Friday night, today's Sunday. When I went to close the hole, did the magic ring at the beginning, and when I went to close it, it just kept shredding. And I was going to give this away at the football game, and I thought, I can't do that because I'm not sure if that hole's going to stay closed. So that worried me, and I thought, well, I'm going to have to keep this one pretty close to home. It did come out smaller. I've made another in my last video. I was working on this and it came out huge. It's huge, and the yarn was thicker, and I came out with a bed for my Chihuahua, so he's been sleeping in that. He loves it. As soon as I showed it to him, he curled up in it and fell right to sleep, so that was pretty good. Anyway, back to this hat. This hat, the size came out better. I can still do better because it's still a little bit too big for me. My head measures 22 inches, I think 22 inches. And so, and this is a little roomy on me, using an H hook with the Ferris wheel yarn, which is a 4-weight yarn, I think. Check. Yeah, it's a 4-weight. This is an example of Ferris wheel. That color was Morning Joe or Morning Coffee or something like that. This one's called Buttercup. I've started another hat with it. I've just barely started it. I'm just on like the second round. So that's how it starts out with the magic circle, but you just have to be real careful when you go to pull it shut because it just shreds. I just really have to watch out for that. I learned it the hard way doing the on my Addy knitting machine, and I'd go to close the drawstring cast on both ends, and it would just shred. And I totally forgot about it when I started doing the Ferris wheel yarn. I didn't realize it was going to do that too. And I have noticed that the homespun wants to pull, shred a little bit too. So beware. At Hobby Lobby, I bought, I saw a Red Heart Dreamy, and it was on clearance for $4.97. And so I went ahead and picked it up. This one's called Mountaintop. I have a couple of Dreamy, but I haven't used it yet. I thought I would start using it pretty soon. Then this caught my eye. This is called Green, Turquoise, and Red. And it's Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. It's just their regular acrylic. And I really do love this yarn. I've really liked it for a long time now. Many years. And I picked up this. It's called Royalty. And it's a nice, deep, really pretty blue with a silver thread in it. And I bought this for my friends that celebrate other holidays beside Christmas, red and white. Some people like blues, so I thought that would make nice stars and things, and haven't really decided what I'm going to make with it yet, but there you have it. Then I found Roll With It Melange, and I really wanted to try this. It's a medium 4. It calls for an I crochet hook, and in this cake is 389 yards, and I just really wanted to give it a try. I saw it not too long ago, and I thought that it would make a nice shawl. See, there's a pattern that comes with it, that kind of a shawl, but it wasn't on sale. It was $5.99, and I used my 40% coupon to get it. Yeah, I'm not really 100% sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but I bought another color too. Oh, it's $6.99. Sorry, it's $6.99. This one's called Showtime, and I thought that was real pretty. I can think of quite a few things to try with it. So, that's my yarn. Oh, I have one more. Sorry. This is Lion Brand Yarns Shimmery in a different colorway. This is called Milky Way, and it's really pretty colors of browns, and it's got its metallic thread running through there just like the other one. It's a bulky 5. It's real soft. It feels like it'd be really soft next to the skin. It doesn't feel scratchy at all. Sometimes I am concerned about crocheting with any kind of yarn that has a metallic thread running through it, because a long time ago I crocheted with a harsh, I think I got it from Hirschner's actually. It was just a really low quality, I hate to say that, but real scratchy, let's put it that way, however it's processed, acrylic. They had a metallic thread running through it, and when I crocheted for a little while with it, and I noticed my fingers were kind of feeling funny, kind of stinging, and I looked, and that had made teeny tiny little cuts in my skin, and I thought, wow, I'm going to stay away from metallic yarns, and look at all this metallic yarn I have. So I'm hoping that it's not going to be a problem. I haven't been to Walmart because it really upset me when they had the shooting in August in El Paso at Walmart, and I just really had a hard time going back over there. I haven't been back since until yesterday, and I only went because they're the only place that carries Premier puzzle yarn here. I'm sure they have it other places, but around here this is the only place that had and this is Domino's, and I bought this to make to start the CAL with Krista, the Secret Yarnery, for the Tammy Sweater. And in honor of her goal to make it pink, at the end I'm going to put on the inside of the sweater, I'll put some pink, maybe I'll put, embroider something inside of it. So I did, Christina at Mother Cow Crochet had posted a tutorial for her Bridges of Infinities. She calls it a Bridges of Infinities shawl. It's like a cowl or a shawl or a scarf. So here it is. I did it in landscapes, and let me tell you, I struggled with that yarn. It kept shredding on me. And here I bought another one, but I just don't know if it was my hook or what, but it kept catching. But the pattern was awesome. Thank you, Christina. And here's how mine came out. It's very versatile. You can wear it a lot of different ways. You can twist it around different ways. I think I started off with a chain of either 130 or 180, whatever she recommended, and I just went with it. I did 4 inches. I'll show you. 4 inches across here, and then I started the edging and then the bridges. Okay, so if you go to Mother Cow Crochet and look at her Bridges of Infinity shawl, you'll find the tutorial for it, and it's a lovely pattern that she developed. And the way it starts, you make the beginning chain, however long you want your scarf or your shawl cowl, and then you do a twist before you join the ends. So then as you're crocheting, you're going around in a figure 8. It's kind of like like an infinity sign. And so when you start doing the bridges, I was doing the bridges, and this part went pretty fast. Then I started getting to the bridges, and I was going and going and going and going and going. I was like, aren't I almost done yet? And I looked, and I had a whole lot more to go because I had to go down the other side. I was like, oh yeah. So that was really fun, Christina. Thank you for that. I had gone on Jada and Stitches to see her little mini pumpkin tutorial, and I made that. I think I'll try that one again. I did the stem a little bit different than how she was doing it. I don't think I caught the edges just right, but I think it looks all right. It looks cute. I like it. So I finished the High Tide Waves blanket, and it's not huge, but I used Red Heart Super Saver Ombre in Scuba, and as I was working with it, I was really surprised at how scratchy it was, and I thought, I want to keep going with it because I really like the colorway and how the ombre effect was developing in the High Tide Waves blanket. I followed Jonna Martinez's tutorial. It was a 3-part tutorial, and I did break my head on that. I just fortunately there was a left-handed version, or I wouldn't have been able to make it. But it was incredible to do this huge pattern, and I stuck it out and I made it all the way to the end, and I was very proud of myself because I'm going to see if I can show it to you. I put it on the wall instead of using it. Let's see, there's a lamp in the way. Can you see it? I put it up there over my electric piano, and we'll see, I'll show it to you again. So that has a lot of texture in it, and every round is different until you start getting to the very edge, and then there's some repeats. But I haven't done anything like that in a long time to make it, that intricate. And I've just been doing kind of simple things and small things, and that came out really beautiful in the colors. But I just decided I didn't want to use it as an afghan because it really wasn't big enough. I could have kept going because the last few rows you can keep repeating, but I just had enough at that point, and I'd already been through 3 skeins of the ombre Super Saver, Red Heart Super Saver ombre, and I was pretty much at the end of my supply, and I thought I'm not going to buy another one. And I thought that would make a really pretty wall hanging, and I am putting it up there as a testament to how I was able to stick with it and get through there. It's kind of like a little badge of honor for me. So it means a lot to me on many levels. So I thought I'd be really happy to look at it. And that's about it. I'm going to get out of here and start working on my Jada in Stitches has a calendar CAL that's been going on since the beginning of the year, and I never finished the landscape part of it. And so I think today would be a good day to work on that and try to get the landscape. At least I get my background finished, because I have made some of the appliques that go on it, but I haven't sewed them on yet. I just was kind of gathering them up, and I figured that I could make a plan later. And I need to go, and she's added tons more appliques, and I'm way behind. So I thought I would get onto that and try to finish up I've been trying to finish up some of my whips and get ready to start the Tammy sweater. That's going to be next. And I'm going to have to do some measuring and try to figure out exactly how big I want to make that. And it's all double crochet. So yeah, I'm just coming off of a lot of double crochets, so I should be in gear for this. So I'm excited. We've all been real excited about getting started on it. So I have a new neighbor next door who wanted to learn needle tatting. So on Friday I got my stuff out and I went over to her house and I was teaching her needle tatting, and she's right-handed, I'm left-handed. So we sat across from each other, and I've never tried that before, but it worked. It was okay. It wasn't perfect, but she's doing great, and I was really proud of her, and she's sticking with it, and I think she's going to be an excellent tatter. So that's it for me, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.